trying to fake out a potential A hit, but they're actually going to be following in behind this, already spilling outside towards E-Box, where Rain is putting them down with a bit of pain. Twistzz on top of that, showing just why he's one of those most exciting prospects from NA. Missing a few shots there does afford them the luxury of going for a post plant, and karrigan's trying to get up close with his USP. Player advantage now turns into a 2-player advantage, and it's definitely faring in favor of FaZe. D-Hat and Snappy, Yadane and Paul, the last 2 members standing with a P250 in D-Hat's hands, and he removes the head of Twistzz. Bomb planted for Pop Dog, but FaZe have cleaned it up. Nice shot from Twistzz though, up close in the Pop Dog. Sprays down Alu, tries to transition into another couple, does significant damage, and Spinks will be finished off. The only Ence member, though, that has struck thus far. Although karrigan is low, they're going to try and hold on to both of their Galils. Dotto's also feeling worse for wear as well here, though Dust, but Snappy has at least came back in and puts the Latvian down.
Yeah, indeed he does, but they still have an uphill climb considering the health that they have and considering Coldzera's positioning here, already pushing through the brown halls, already very near T-spawn, might catch Ence in the back here as they try to transition towards Ivy, and even if he misses the timing, karrigan should be right there, and I think Cole will spot them. Indeed he does. He'll tap at the FAMAS, doesn't actually land the mark, so they know that they're being flanked, but Cole does still have them boxed in at the very least, and has the information on where their position, knows if they will fall back.
Seems like they do want to end this round with some more bloodshed and carnage, and Snappy, well, he'll reap the rewards of their aggression. Dotto's also dipped in, and suddenly it's a 1-on-2. Coldzera, with it all to do by himself, the smoke will afford to save Blood with 6 seconds. Ence have clutched that. Never looked likely, never looked like it should have happened. With Desert Eagles, they'll have to try and avenge that disappointing round. Rain and Twistzz come through with Snappy 1 deeks. And now Ence, they're struggling. They're submerged. Spinks is going to try and give them a couple more breaths of oxygen. But now, with the smokes clearing, Dotto's got to do a lot of work with this MAC-10. He's been tagged down, he's been weakened, and now Rain goes in for the peak, but Dotto takes his head off.
Getting information in space to see if he can build a safety net for a team to come in and plant the bomb, but unfortunately for him, he's been traded 2 for 1. That leaves Spinks alone. Yes, he does have the AK and the head armor and a 2v1, and actually have a chance to reel this one back in despite Ence's advantages coming into the round firepower.
Got a bit nervous there, though, because FaZe did peek out 1 by 1 as opposed to clumping together, as you said, and picking up their weapons. Maybe a little bit cognizant of the lack of kit, and now Ence have the opportunity with Spinks to rummage together a rotation and take another avenue to defend the site. He's actually just stuck on the site itself, up close. This is where the glow should shine, but a lot of time has already ticked away. They need to get on the site, and in doing so, in amongst all this chaos, maybe Spinks can clutch it. There's the first spray down, needs to get the second. The full diffuse is coming through, runs out of ammunition, switches to the block. He's missing everything. Pull the knife out, man. Spinks, not like this. The full diffuse underneath his nose.
Still there for Ence. Panic costs dearly. FaZe gets the round back, but the buy is still there for Ence. They're going to have some AKs come through, but a great utility combo is going to get FaZe the first frag of the round.
Flash into B, karrigan capitalizes, spray down onto Snappy. 2 more players over on Ivy, but the smoke will shroud their position, so karrigan can't be sure of it. And D-Hat, one of those players to watch out for, as we highlighted, with an AK. Only 1 kill to his name thus far with 58 ADR. It's still early days. Smoked off as well from FaZe, and
continues to inch forward. He spots one, but Spinks catches him, and that's a big. And so FaZe are still well set up to victory, but Ence have an opening now, and that just adds to it.
That opening has been kicked wide and abruptly by D-Hat. 25 seconds. Now the rest of the troops have congregated in. Brokey 1-for-1 trade. A lot of damage to Spinks, who's been finished off. The MP9 does its job. 15 seconds. D-Hat has them both down in Pop Dog. He may not know that both players are here. You can see he's looking towards Connector as a parting gift of a dink from Rain's MP9. Now goes in for more, and he re-peaks him twice. Once again, this could be a reoccurring theme. This is where we were talking about maybe that lack of strategy playbook. Snappy straight through towards Ivy. As the 2 T's aggression do connect and fork in the road towards the site. Snappy goes in for another one, suddenly down to a 1-on-2. And hot off the back of FaZe, finally getting a bit of consistency and getting consecutive rounds. They've been put right into a 1-on-2 situation. Coldzera's already been in one of these under very different circumstances, though. May get the drop and does get the drop on Snappy, but the last player of Alu is completely unknown. He has the bomb and gets the drop on Coldzera. karrigan up close, getting one and a second. How the hell does he manage to transition into that second one? Degon to dhat through the box as well. And just like that, FaZe take the advantage, and the AK-47 is saved by karrigan.
And so there is a very real chance that FaZe could just bring this right back and hold Ence off yet again, considering that they do have Rain in this deep position, and they already had 2 players on this inner site. And karrigan's not too far off from rotating.
He's not. Twistzz can put a bullet down range. That is huge. And look where the bomb is spilled down. One of the 2 of them has to go back out into the open. Go up the ladders again. And Coldzera, he's striking in with more. 23 seconds on the clock. And I don't know if Dotto realizes just how grim this situation is. He's being flanked as well. Lack of utility with a minute plus on the clock. So they will maneuver their way and erupt out onto the site. Coldzera, though, is the man for the job. He blockades with 2 kills, and a lot of damage with the scout is being inflicted from Brokey. Going to be pushed from the side, but not before he silences Alu. It's another scrappy one. It's another round where maybe Ence can sneak and slither their way out of the site and potentially to a third. But Twistzz making moves in, and the Canadian will pounce. Aim on point and true to deliver the frag. He spots the second, but karrigan takes it away from him. The start this has been. They are pushing down ramp and Ivy simultaneously. karrigan, not for the first time, locking it down with a 2K over on Ivy, and the rest is falling into place. So not just the round, but potentially, I nearly said a clean sweep. Just cursed Brokey as a bullet passes between his eyes. And maybe Spinks can put another bit of damage down or not. Coldzera, and not many flashes either, Dust. They are lacking on utility.
Sure, but the other side of the coin, Vince, is now that FaZe won a clean round, they have the money to have utility to slow down fast pushes with the smokes and incendiaries, which is forcing Ence to play a little bit more careful. But they are still trying to explode in this inner yard, and they're actually making some progress. And now dhat is on pretty big flank in the back halls. This could get dangerous.
That's a dirty little off angle with the smoke as well, and dhat is flanking Brokey, who's finally got an open, takes him down. It looked like dhat was about to rip this round open and close it off the FaZe, but instead FaZe stand tall, and it's that man karrigan again with yet another multi-frag round. But FaZe are doing such a good job of actually falling back and using their superior weapons at range. Rain already tapping off the head of Spinks and be turning his attention towards E-Box, where he sees players pushing through, but dhat running interference, being the chaos creator, pushing straight through onto Ivy, and now Dotto's got him with 2 more frags. Rain needs to hold the line. 7 seconds left for the Norwegian, and he will fall on his sword. Flash is good enough to force Brokey away and claim the kill. They reap the rewards onto Coldzera. Brokey now, different angle. Keeping it mixed up as Alu chips in with his AWP, and with so much on the line, Brokey drops down from oil, not the ideal positioning. He needs help, but he's being effectively isolated from mollies and smokes that are tossed onto connector. You can see that Twistzz is still a bit cognizant and worried about a potential flank from Ivy. He has no idea as to what's coming up right now.
No, that's very true. Ence has already exploited that a couple of rounds in a row. One time they got caught by Brokey. The other round, it won them the round. Virtually all their resources for the weapons that they have. Cold trying to get aggressive inner halls is going to be caught. It's a great pickup from dhat, but now you need to get a move on after your Ence, and they're doing just that.
karrigan, though, bit of a different angle. The back train, Rain and Twistzz have both put down frags. And with 23 seconds, now the pressure is swarming. They need some big picks, and Alu's going to come in with 1. Pop Dog is held onto. Position has been given away to his adversaries.
Allowing karrigan to, again, hold this aggressive angle and slow down that position. In the meantime, Twistzz has also found a pick towards Olaf. So FaZe are, again, playing that very constricting forward angle style of defense. Oh my, it just gets worse with that. And oh, he can't even be traded by dhat. That is pivotal for FaZe that Cold's done that.
Great news across the board on the CTs. dhat has to try and dig them out this ditch, but karrigan just shovels a couple more loads. But good flashes force away the CTs and opens it up for dhat. Surely not again, FaZe. Not to the hands of Tech9s and Deagles.
You would really hope so, because at that point, it would basically equate the amount of rounds Ence have won with weapons versus rounds with just pistols like this. But it does seem like Coldzera and Twistzz are, you know, bringing us back to sanity with those couple of kills, getting the man advantage for FaZe. Good incendiary here towards the bomb train, gonna flush these post-plant position players out into awkward space, allowing them to be reaped by Cold, who just continues to tee off with that AK, leaving Snappy all alone with the Tech9 here in the Brown Halls.
No molly to bank off the wall. And it's coming head-to-head with Snappy, who takes his head clean off. Brokey gets one in return. A weakened Spinks has to pull the plug and get out of there. But the player advantage is in favor of Ence, and now the grenade's starting to rain onto the site. Molly's to the top of train, forcing away some of these angles. There's still 50 seconds to play with. That flick from Brokey is a thing of beauty, and he may not be done just yet. No players on Ivy, but there's no way of him knowing that. And so he has to be cognizant. He has to do his due diligence before he flicks in for another one. And Snappy, his next victim. He is a predator stalking this round. 30 seconds to play with, flash up and over, and a low Spinks has to try and somehow carve a path through the end of this round. Spinks now coming in, 17 HP left.
So we are going to see some challenges go over towards Ivy.
2-for-1 trade. FaZe do take the advantage, and that hammer in the hands of Karrigan, as he is the puppet master right now, and he's pulling all the strings, and he's also pulling out a great performance for himself, by the way. Leading by example. Spinks, excellent headshot onto Coldzera, gives them a chance into the round. They still have control over the bomb, though, FaZe, and they're looking to try and spill out onto A.
Yeah, it seems like that is the final destination here, as Twistzz is getting backstabbed, though, but he flicks the 180 for a dink onto D-How, forcing him into the back calls. Twistzz trades up to the USP, and now they start spilling out onto the site. Snappy being challenged over here in the back. Twistzz will finish him off. Karrigan finds D-How, and now it's all on Spinks.
Already one kill to his name, and he's put a second in as well. Both players are very low. Brokey's on 1 HP and Twistzz on 59. Now, ammunition may start to be a bit of a problem. Only 14 bullets left, putting them down, and nearly flicks to the head of Twistzz. Here with some of these pistols, they still have that scout, as we highlighted before. They're able to successfully save, but Twistzz and Karrigan turn it up a notch, pour the gasoline on, and although Ence didn't really have much in this round, they'll have a buy into the next. As you touched on, it could be their last chance now. As we've got into such dangerous, awkward situations where Snappy desperately just trying to clamber on for a kill or two, and D-Hat with just a USP can't really foreseeably get anything out of this round at this point.
Yeah, when you had that line about dousing gasoline, my brain is so...
Don't advise it, definitely. Definitely don't. Oh, those grenades, though, are looking good. And Ence, out of the back of a buy with plenty of orgs and an AWP, have sustained one casualty in the form of Spinks, smoke, mollies, flashes, everything being tossed onto A side as this war ensues. Ence fighting down. They know the importance to try and remedy the situation. The spiraling downward trend has continued, and it's the Canadian that tries to just twist the knife in their back with his AK, down to 5 bullets, but Coldzera steps up alongside Twistzz.
Yes.
It's been a bit of a dud so far, I think it's safe to say. Twistzz, though, is just going to put this off as fast as possible, administer the mercy across to Ence, who are floating away into the nether. It's all on Dotto with a scout in hand, and as much as he's doing damage and landing some frags, it feels like just a drop in the bucket, and they will be doused down fully. FaZe consistently have been the better team. Does it a little bit of damage, actually a lot more than a little bit, nearly 100 damage just by itself. Softens up so many of these T's, and now they can be pivoted into. Spinks posted the back of the site, already with one, and putting that aim to use for 2. Runs out of ammunition, should be going down, but Snappy has his back covered, and the damage has been done. It's a close-out round with only Spinks. Yeah, tons of information. You can hear the footsteps just below them, but Alu peeks out, gets tagged down to 50. They've already taken down Spinks. Add Snappy into the mix, and the B site's fallen.
Committed to this, slide out, spots the closet player, gets that kill. D-How able to find his man, but now FaZe know where they can bring this bomb and just work together. They know that there was at most one at A. They find it, bomb will go down, and so FaZe is gonna give us a very kind of deja vu feeling to how Train played out, with kind of that 1-1 scramble at the start, with Karrigan and Rain being at the forefront, but Karrigan gonna get stamped out by Spinks' Deagle there. Gets dangerous. Twistzz looking to retaliate.
They charge in, double player stack, make it 3, but as D-Han gets a bit too antsy, a bit too overzealous, he is punished by Rain, and Twistzz has finished off the rest. There was a slight glimmer of hope. A window was being opened, but it gets slammed shut. FaMass's MP9 also tossed in the mix with no utility really to speak of, and no kits either. And Twistzz with the FaMass just runs straight out and peels back 2 heads. And it's a third on top of it, and the blink of an eye. the snap of the fingers, Twistzz has taken the site, and Ence are forced to save again.
Clue what's going on over at middle. They're trying to kind of keep an eye on it with Alu's AWP. And Spinx has that boosted position and does find his man before going down, but now they know where he is. They have him isolated. A great flash comes in, but Rain through it anyway finds Spinx.
It's not... Well, I was going to say, last line of defense, but he has now been taken down as Rain puts the sledgehammer to use. Post plant comes into effect. Alu hasn't really been given any chances in this round, but they're still up close. And with their economy, with the situation as grim as it currently stands, they may feel compelled to try and go in. Desperation may be creeping in for the Finns and the pole. As Alu is now all alone. Last man standing, and Coldzera wide swings him. Don't necessarily have a huge amount of utility behind it. Snappy's been picked off as well, which just adds to the woes.
Yeah, it's picks on opposite ends of the map almost simultaneously. It's forcing Ence to really scramble as they're very spread thin. They still don't really know what the focus is for FaZe. They do still kind of have Spinx in a forward position over towards the cart here at Banana. And he does get the kill onto Brokey, so that alleviates some pressure towards this B side. But in the meantime, you have Rain wrapping up Archway, and you can even get this pinch off on Spinx over towards Construction. Bomb still left behind bottom B, but they can easily be reclaimed by Coldzera, who's in Boiler. And so it's really going to come down to what Rain wants to do and what he can find.
Oh, it feels like Alu's completely screwed. Unless timing gets the better of Rain, which it won't. You know, splatters Alu from behind. diha now does at least get one in return, and it does definitely give him a chance, a fighting chance, but his teammate's not moved yet. They're not even sure as to whether this is a B or an A hit, so diha's all alone. He just catches a glimpse of the player pushing into pit and takes his head off, and now diha has every chance of clutching this round out, but he has been suppressed by Karrigan. One-on-one, and Spinx is still on the B side. It's going to take him ages to get across.
That's just the impact of Rain having that archway position for so long. It really forced Ence to have to hold their ground on both ends, and it gives Karrigan a chance in the 1v1.
The timing may work against him because Spinx took so long. Karrigan started to doubt himself. He started to think and wonder if maybe mid was being pushed in or apps. Another smoke has now been tossed in, but Twistzz position is so powerful, and he finishes off what Rain started down middle in that opening trade. There are still two players on the A side, including diha, who's just hit a vein of form. But he's really called upon multiple more times, and Karrigan is actually wrapping around the back of B in amongst all of this action and chaos, and maybe try and deal with any rotational player. In doing so, it allows the Sanctuary of FaZe to rotate the bomb all the way across to B, and Snappy only has a UMP to his side. He has to try and hold this all alone. 13 seconds to play with, though. If he can pull out the rabbit out of the hat and just spray down a couple players, it could be good enough as he's looking to go for that wide swing. 5 seconds to play with, but Brokey is checking his angles, and even though diha has splatted Brokey afterwards, the bomb gets planted down, and a 3-on-2 comes up with Otto on exceptionally low HP. Surely Ence are about to succumb again, and there's a flank player coming around the back as well, by the way. Coldzera is making moves all the way around CT side. They need kills right now. If Ence are going to have any chance of clutching this, diha or Dotto have got to go massive. They're missing too many bullets, and they're both going to get costed. Good utilities lost up and basically isolated those two banana players. The flashbang, though, allows Spinx to go in for a peek, and they at very least momentarily even the odds. That equality, though, has been taken away collectively. Alu still yet to get off the mark with frags. Maybe this is his moment as the flash comes through. Looking, pounces in for his first and tries to connect into more, but it will be a one and done. Dotto, only 10 ADR to his name, is looking to try and pick up a few more frags and a few more damage, and he does get it done onto Karrigan, who runs out of ammunition, but still, they're locking it down from pit, and Dotto is stuck on site. They know exactly where he is. AK-47 has been picked up, and a low Brokey against him with an AWP does make this maybe a doable situation, but Coldzera,
FaZe and Ence staying at 2 because their economy is absolutely in tatters, and Brokey's already taken one op off the board. Snappy tucked into the corner at the sandbags, trying to hold his ground. He's good for one, but that's going to be all, and that's not good enough as FaZe are just tearing Ence apart all across the map, Vince.
It feels like Ence are out of ideas. Like, this just seems like a team that has run out of steam. They can't keep the pace in FaZe. They're just being, as you said, outmaneuvered at every single turn, and
just the economy not there for Ence, as has often been the case throughout this half, unfortunately for them. 4-on-3 right now. There are a couple weakened players out there, though, so there are some chances maybe for Ence, but that erases one of their big shots at it.
Yeah, we've got to that kind of territory where, like, a pistol kill and we're getting somewhat excited. Okay, that definitely throws a cat amongst the pigeons when you consider the HP on FaZe. D has double, does actually give us something to get excited about. But by and large, it has just been so clutched down. And indeed, he's got the AK-47. They have a HE. They've got a molly. And that smoke's not great. There's a gap in that smoke, so Spinks has seen both players cross. This means he doesn't have to worry about his left-hand side. He can focus his attention towards the site, which is massive. But uncharacteristically for how well he's played over the duration of these two maps, one of the slight glimmering hopes on Ence. He misses his chances, and the HE has also gone right down the middle of both FaZe players. They're dodging all of these bullets, all of this shrapnel, and now Karrigan puts the bullet down range, showing he's still got it with the AWP, but broky just splatters Spinks.
And they have a player under porch as well, so if FaZe commit to middle, this might be a little bit tough.
Hopefully Ence can get it done, but of course they check the angles. There's a perfect flashbang tossed out there. There was no secondary player playing anti-flash and a Molotov alongside it, so Twistzz was just dangled on the end of a rod, and Twistzz goes fishing. 3 times in the round, headshots delivered, first class. He's up to 18 frags already, and we haven't even finished the first half.
I swear I haven't seen Twistzz miss a shot yet. It just seems like every time he comes out, when we're watching the other players' POV, they're dead in the blink of an eye. They never even really get a chance to pull the trigger. Twistzz just been so clean. He might even ace this round. No, Snappy will not allow that, but who cares at this point, really? FaZe are just dominating the scoreboard here. Snappy trying just to save this M4 over towards construction area. And even if he were, it's just such a small victory to...
Yeah, he's not even been required this game.
Nope.
He's 8 kills. Like, he doesn't need to do anything. Karrigan straight up gets the entry, instantly retorted on, but that's still going to favor FaZe.
Yeah, absolutely. There is some banana control there here from Ence, as we do see Spinks getting very aggressive with the MP9, so that could be a huge factor in their favor. He does take broky down. Twistzz actually only good for 1 this time around, which has been a rarity. And so hold the phone. There is a chance for Ence in this final round to half, though. Cold. Know to find 1v2.
Flawless comeback if they want any hope of pulling this one off, and it is going to be pushing straight towards the A site. broky is waiting. Nades are put down with a ton of bullets behind them. And now Snappy, although he can get 1.
Control of top banana, and they will push forward with the MP9 and the Nova, and they will reign supreme. A 3-2 trade. FaZe now up. Some challenges over here at middle with Twistzz, but they fall back off of it.
Well, broky
spot him.
Yeah, pushing down banana. He knows exactly what's coming up. He keeps going. They hear the footsteps, and that nearly gets his life across to Ence. That could have been a 2v2, but instead the bomb's been spilled down. Dotto with 91 HP, with only 2 kills to his name. Would have to go above and beyond, and Low is taking some liberties. Hopefully it doesn't get into complacency, but Rain shows it's completely worth the pickup as he goes farming for frags with the Nova. Finally is silenced. The damage has been inflicted, although Ence did bounce back with another kill on Coldzera, and broky's been tagged down. This puts a bit more of the emphasis on Karrigan's M4, but if we've seen anything so far today, it's that he's up to the task, and he passes it again with flying colors. 12 match points. To be devil's advocate, though, if they do concede this, they've put a lot of money into the round, so maybe there's a way back forward. But of course, broky shows that the triple AWP setup can't be very much a success as he picks up the first play. It's going to be D-Hat. Lack of utility as they look to try and push onto the site, and Dotto's been finished off next, and broky goes in again. The House of Cards is coming down, trying to get the no-scope at the end, being cheeky, but Alu is being overwhelmed. There's players behind him, in front of him, and at least he gets a kill. He's about to get fragged by Karrigan, or perhaps not. Alu's still in with a chance in this round. He's being pushed down from another player down towards middle who may get the drop on him. And there is Coldzera. That's going to be all she wrote. 16-3, the easiest of 2-0s. And we'll be back after just a short break.